Hi, thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how Google ranks your website in the search results and how you can take advantage of that and drive some more traffic to your site and calls to the business by getting it listed on the first page. So I noticed that you guys have a pretty big area that you cover. So what I've done is just taken the two major cities, Philly and Baltimore, and I've taken the top companies listings in both of those areas, as well as your website, and I put them all into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google sees when it searches your website, and then rates its strength and trust on a scale of 1 to 100. So you can see just from these numbers why some of these companies are being listed on the top of the first page above yours. But let me go into a little bit further detail on what these numbers mean and how you can improve them. So when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that Google has in your site, which is basically nothing more than a popularity contest. So this authority is gained when other websites link or refer back to yours, and it acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So just to quickly define these, if say the local news station did an article on their website for top 10 best roofers in southeastern Pennsylvania, and in that article the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website, that would be considered one backlink from one referring domains. Now these backlinks can come from blogs, any kind of posting sites, press releases, any kind of manufacturing or distributing that you work with. But one very important one is what's called a citation. Now, a citation is any time that your name, address, and phone number appears in an online directory. Now, those directories include Yellow Pages, Yelp, Better Business Bureau. They're usually always free to get. It just takes some time to find them, register your business, and then input all the information exactly as it's shown in Google search. Now, just looking at these numbers, you can see how many websites that these companies have referring back to theirs. And obviously, it varies depending on the competition in the market. But this is why Google trusts their website and their business and is ranking theirs higher up in the search results. Now, the second factor that Google uses is what's called the content on the page. So if we look here, unfortunately, Google is not really picking up any keywords on your site. I think what's happening is some of them are being picked up as pictures instead of as words. But if we just take a look at one of the competitors, I think they got a lot in there. So let me just to kind of give you a quick example. These are all the keywords that are being typed into Google search that are being found on this page, and the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where we do some research to find all the highest volume keywords and make sure that those are being included on your site. So just as an example of roofers in Philadelphia, as you can see, this is being searched 800 times a month. This company is in the 4th position on the first page, which means 800 people a month are seeing their website. If that was you, usually we're pretty conservative and we say only 10% of those people actually click and give you a call and become a lead to the business. And then I don't know what the conversion rate is for people that actually get jobs done, but let's be even more conservative and say that only 10% of those 10% actually become a job and then you get a job out of it. So that would be potentially 8 new roofs every month just off of this one keyword. So then we would repeat that same process for all the highest volume keywords, given the services that you offer and the areas that you want to target. And then obviously the profit margin varies per job, but you can see how that many new leads coming into the business can add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. Now there's a formula that Google uses to find these keywords. So if we take a look at the page here, the layout on your page looks great. We've got all the information that customers could want. The only thing I would suggest is probably making these a call to click, so that way when people are in mobile format, they can just click right on it and it'll automatically start calling. As far as Google is concerned, though, it doesn't care about the layout. It's just a computer, so it's going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, it's generally looking for a minimum of about 1,500 to 2,000 words because it assumes that the more information you have on the page, the more of authority you are and the more of an expert, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. Now, while it's counting these words, it's also searching for those keywords. So that would be any one of the services that you offer in the areas that you offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. The more keywords that you want to be found for, the more content that you have to add onto the page. Now, if we go back to the search results, Now, at the top of the page, this is what we call the map pack. This is actually a pretty important area to try to get into inside your service areas. Usually anywhere upwards of half of the people will just click on one of these top 3 listings. To get into here, you just need to fill out your Google Business profile, which is part of the Maps app, so you can do it right from a smartphone. You want to fill out as much information as possible, including services you offer, the areas, even your hours of operation. Then you want to be adding photos that are geotagged within your service area, as well as posts, and upload those to your profile as often as you can. Get as many customer reviews, and then you want to be listed in as many directories and get as many of those citations as possible. Your name, address, and phone number. You want to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list. Then underneath that, this is what we call the organic search results. This is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list that you're going to rank. So this is where you would want to get as many of those websites to refer back to yours and create those backlinks, so that way Google can build that trust and authority and then start to begin to recommend your site higher and higher up on this list, so you can get more organic clicks. And that'll stop you from having to potentially pay for leads, depending on if that is an option for your business. You'll be getting as many leads as you can just from having it on the first page, and it won't be a cost per click or cost per lead option. It'll be coming directly to you, nobody else. So I hope this information was helpful and allows you to scale some of your online presence. But please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to go into any further details. We could also talk about your goals as a business, and I can do some research on my end just to find out what it would take for you to reach those. And I always appreciate getting feedback as well to find out if information like this is useful for you. So please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I hope this helps.